With Zenless Zone Zero being out for almost 2 months now, we've gotten to a point where people are maxing out their characters, me included, and people are clearing endgame content with only 2 characters on one team. You might be one of those people who can't even clear Shiyu defense with a full team of 3, and some of you might not even know what Shiyu defense is. Now that we're so far in, we'll have a better understanding of how the game should be played. For those new to the game, I'm here to relieve you all of the intricacies of this game and guide you so you don't end up making the same mistakes every other player made when we were in your shoes for the first time starting out, because trust me, we've all been there. When starting out, one of the big things I like to do is get through the story as far as I can in a single sitting. I don't recommend doing that because it's not healthy sitting there for 13 hours in a single sitting just to get halfway through Penacony's storyline. Anyways, that's not my main point. With ZZZ's story, I suggest taking it slow and not try to do it in one sitting because, well, you can't. You'll end up being level locked like half the time if you do take it really fast. Usually the internet level requirement isn't that hard, as you only need a few commissions to actually get to the next level. My suggestion though is to take it day by day and go at your own pace so you don't end up level locked like I was. Now, what are some of the ways you can gain internet levels? Well, first and foremost, there's obviously commissions like I talked about earlier, which is just side quests around the map. And then there's also spending energy, which you can spend when you unlock the HIA. So in my opinion, you should be trying to unlock the HIA as soon as possible so you can spend your energy. In the beginning of the game, majority of your energy will be spent in the HIA, as the HIA is the way you gain materials for your characters to level up. You're basically killing 2 birds with 1 stone here, gaining materials and internet levels at the same time. Now, how to spend the energy in the HIA, I'll leave that to your own discretion, but my suggestion is to level your characters all the way up to the max level they can be, and then focus on upgrading your W engines and then their skills. The character limit is based off of your internet level, so you don't have to worry about bringing a character from 1 to 60. When leveling your skills, you should not neglect your core skill. It should probably be your priority actually, and then you can focus on leveling your other skills after. By the way, this is actually a good time to mention, early on you gain access to the coffee shop, which gives you 2 bonuses. The first bonus is 60 energy, which is across the board on all coffees, and the second thing is a bonus to your upgrade materials. The bonuses vary depending on the day as well, so you have to check every day to see which one you need. I suggest coming back to the coffee shop daily just to get your 60 energy, as it's free and you don't want that to go to waste, do you? Now, I should also mention that when gathering the leveling materials for your agents, you should only be gathering materials for your main team. Find a team that you like and stick with it until the end of the game, as if you level 2 different teams at the same time, it'll take longer for one of your teams to get to the max level, and it'll make both your teams much weaker when you could have one really strong team that can clear most of the base content for you at the start. Once you're able to get decent disc drives on your main team and level everything they have to max or close to max, only then should you really consider leveling a second team. Though with disc drives, I wouldn't really farm them until you reach internet level 35, as at internet level 35, you gain access to S-rank disc drives, which are endgame disc drives and are the best that you can get. That isn't to say you shouldn't farm for A-rank disc drives at all. You should try to get some base disc drives so your team doesn't hit like a wet noodle. I wouldn't try too hard getting good A-rank disc drives, as you'll replace them in the future anyway. I should also mention, don't spend your currency from the Bardic Noodle immediately, unless you know what you're looking for. You can get most of your disc drives from doing routine cleanups, and the Bardic Needle ones are special since you can choose exactly which disc drive you need specifically. Majority of the time you'll be farming for disc 4, 5, and 6 from the Bardic Needle, since those are the ones that you need with specific main stats on. Just so you're aware, doing routine cleanups also require energy. Please don't spend all your energy getting disc drives. Within the energy category, there is a way to regenerate your energy if you've used all of it, which is from ether batteries. Ether batteries give you 60 energy per ether battery, and they're usable anytime. But just because they're usable doesn't mean you should use them however you want. In most cases, the smartest thing you can do is just to use it to level your main team to max as much as you can. I've found that's one of the most effective ways to use the ether batteries. The other way is a little different. Let's say there's a new character that you want, and the new character requires both leveling materials and disc drives that won't be available until the drop of the character. It hasn't happened yet, but with the track record of Hoyo games, it'll change probably in the future. In those cases, I would save all your ether batteries for that new character that you're going to get, so you can focus on leveling that character and their disc drives when you get that character. Those are really the only 2 uses I'd use them for, but I can't control you. Use them how you want to. I'm just giving you my experience. Speaking of limited time characters, you guys should check out my guide on Qingyi and my upcoming guide on Jane Doe when she comes out. Link in the description. On the topic of limited time characters, you should be spending all your polychromes on pulls for the characters that you want. As tempting as it may be, please don't spend it on energy, it's just not worth it. The amount of pulls you can get from all the polychromes you saved is so much. Oh, and please don't spend it on the standard banner, please. I said please. They're literally free and will always be there, so there's no reason to spend your polychromes or anything else to roll on them. If your luck is as bad as mine, you'll probably lose every 50-50 to Lycon icon and you'll 100% need all the polychromes you can get for the limited time banner character that's out right now. Man, I really hope your luck isn't as bad as mine. I've lost every 50-50 I've had. Another big thing I'd like to mention is something called residual signals. It's a currency you gain when you pull a character, which can be used to buy signature W engines or encrypted master tapes. Now, what should you use this currency on? In my opinion, you should save for a W engine for the free S rank character that you have, or even one that you might want for a certain character in the future, as it's the easiest way to get a signature W engine. If you really don't care about W engines, you can go all wacky silly on the encrypted master tapes. Buy them all up, why not? On the same note, bang bucks can also be used in a similar fashion. I always suggest saving enough to buy a Marso modified part, as it'll act as if you've gotten a duplicate S rank bang boo, which you can upgrade. Definitely worth getting, as you can upgrade your S rank bang boo for your main team faster that way, and it'll always make the little guys happier. Look how cute they are. You can't say no to that face, can you? If you didn't already know, you should also be choosing the best bang boo for your specific team. To do so, just go to the bang boo signal search and click on the icon on the bottom right. Once you do, you can choose between all the S rank bang boos, and you can choose which one you want to show up when you roll for an S rank bang boo. Let's now move on to something more interesting, which is the Scott Outpost. When you visit the outpost, you'll immediately gain access to something called Hollow Zero. If you played Honkai Star Rail, then I'll tell you right now, this is similar to the simulated universe and how it functions. It's a weekly mode that gives you a ton of polychromes and other currency. You should be trying to do this every week, though it takes a really long time if you try to do it in one sitting. Hollow Zero does have a pause feature, so if doing it in one sitting isn't your style, you can pause and come back to it later. In Hollow Zero, there's two types of currencies that you can get by furthering your progression in the Hollow Zero itself. The two types of currencies I'm talking about is merit and then investigation merits. Merits are easier to obtain, and you should get enough currency to buy at the shop. The shop is located right outside the tent, and you can also teleport to the logistics shop for ease of access. His name is Casper, by the way. Say hi to Casper.
Hi, Casper.
These items are basically free in return for your time, so I suggest getting them as much as you can, as they reset every month. For spending your investigation merits, I suggest buying two things before spending any of the rest on something you want. The two things I'm talking about is the tuning calibrator and the hi-fi master copies. The tuning calibrator allows you to choose your main stat on disc 4, 5, and 6. This will help you cut down on your farming by a lot, and is definitely worth the investment to get. Though rolling for substats is still going to be random, which, I mean, it's a gacha, it's gonna happen no matter what. The investment into the hi-fi master copies is also really good, as it's the currency used to synthesize S-rank disk drives. What you choose to spend the rest of your currency on is up to you. I personally buy the limited Denny and Boupons, and then try to save the rest for the next month. While you're still in the Scott Outpost, check out the Notorious Hunts, as they are also a weekly thing and should be done when possible. When checking for which one you should prioritize, always get your main team first, as it's crucial for leveling your core skill once you get to the higher levels of the core skill. As you only get 3 a week, I recommend planning which character you want to level first so you get the most out of your Notorious Hunts. Last and certainly not least, let's talk about one of the most beneficial things you should be doing, and it's free. They're called trust events, and you'll get used to them pretty soon after completing the chapter 2 interlude. Basically, they're just character events that happen around the town. You find them in certain locations and they'll walk up and talk to you, or vice versa. Say the right option to the trust character you're interacting with and you'll gain more trust. You can also invite them to hang out to build their trust faster. You'll at least want to max out 3 agents trust, as it's required to max out the characters to progress the quest in your primer tab. Choosing the best options and inviting the same characters will max out the characters pretty fast, maybe like 3 days total. Now this itself seems like a pretty cool feature. You get to hang out with your friends and even invite them into your room, but that's not even the best part about this. When you max the trust of a character, they're able to help advertise the video store. When an agent advertises a video store, they give you bonus upgrade materials. The type of upgrade material you get is based on the element of the advertiser. You'll always get skill upgrade materials for the element of the character that you advertised as. This is free and should be done as soon as possible to get more skill upgrade materials. With that last one, I just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope it was helpful. If you guys actually learned anything or found these tips helpful, let me know. Also, let me know down below if there's any tips you think I missed or should be mentioned. Remember to subscribe if you're new, or if you want to see more Zenless content in the future. This is Naja signing off.